Restaurant and bar is celebrating 50 years of espionage, mystery, and intrigue. You use a phrase as ghetto, though. Do you not alienate the law-abiding citizens who say, hey, call it a neighborhood? So if some money dropped out of the sky, you wouldn't use it for extra officers on the street?
I have to ask you, how many times do people come up to you and go, suddenly I see?
All the time. And I'm fine with that.
You heard it here first. Harsh words from the Milwaukee County Executive about the Common Council's new public safety proposal. The disturbing details on how the FBI tracked them down. But the case against the teenage suspect is dismissed when a witness changes his story.
They've got a special delivery. Let's get this baby rolling. We've got people to feed. This is usually a busy time. It's service industry night, so there are drink specials for all the servers in town. But right now, it's a little quiet, and this is probably why. All this stuff you have to muddle through, several inches thick. You can just imagine what it's like to try and move your car out of this. But these huge chunks of big, wet, heavy snow we're seeing collecting even in the intersections here in downtown Milwaukee. In fact, it's become so challenging that even the people whose job it is to clear the roads are getting stuck. We caught one incredible, albeit little embarrassing scene at North and Prospect for a DPW driver with that big truck, that big plow truck. The person was still having problems getting through.
At least 3 people have died in the southeastern United States as Hurricane Matthew continues to lash at the Atlantic coast. New at 10, a 38-year-old Milwaukee man died when the car he was working on fell on top of him. It happened at the man's house near 41st and Glendale. Police tell us the car fell off the jack and crushed him to death. Floodgates at Estabrook Dam have been open for years, even after the DNR said repair it or tear it down. The Milwaukee County Board wants to repair the dam, but opponents say the cost is just too high. Now other officials are hoping to take their problem and the problem into their own hands. CBS 58's Lindsay Branwell is live downtown with the latest on this long-running dispute. Lindsay?
Hey, this is no stuffy breakfast, and why not celebrate? This year alone, more than $126,000 is going to some 24 organizations throughout the region.
Or maybe arguing with the person sitting next to you. Tonight I visited with one family in Muskego to see how they're coping with being in a house divided.
You know, I did my best to convert him over, and he said no.
Wally Truelove loves his son. Raised him right, but couldn't believe it when Zach said Trump was his man. Although he didn't exactly say it at first.
We were just talking a little bit about politics one night at dinner, and he just came up and told me, well, I don't like the other lady, is I like the guy. I'm like, what do you mean the guy, that Trump guy?
You were worried about telling him you were for Trump?
Yeah, a little bit.
Why? What did you think would happen?
Maybe an argument or something.
He believes and knows it's untrue.
Needless to say, it gets interesting in their Muskego household. Sometimes the conversation can get quite lively.
We've had arguments here and there.
Other times, stone silence.
Yeah, we might, stop talking for a little bit, but by the time bedtime comes, we're talking.
So are you guys trying to convince each other to change your votes?
Oh, I tried to convert him. I tried to convert him.
Mama set ground rules. Nobody goes to bed angry. And when the election is all over, what are you guys going to talk about at dinner?
Football or something.
Kidding aside, this is Zach's first time voting, so Dad is proud either way, just as long as he exercises his right to vote.
There's no reason to go hungry. There's no reason to be alone. It's always such a nice event to be a part of. Folks lining up here. Oh, let's talk with this lady. Hello, how are you? I'm Michelle with CBS 58. Who are you?
My name is Linda Simcoe.
And Linda, where do you live?
I live in Hartford.
And so you made the trip in from Hartford.
I'm coming from the dentist, so I'm a little awkward here.
But you fit in a little charity in the process. What brought you out?
Well, how can I not be grateful and then pass that along?
This afternoon, helping out a hero, Gary Wetzel Appreciation Day in South Milwaukee. Vietnam veteran and Medal of Honor recipient Gary Wetzel would have loved to be rolling in on 2 wheels, but still rehabbing from a broken pelvis after a motorcycle crash. He had to settle for the wheelchair to thank the people who turned out for a benefit in his honor.
I'm ecstatic. I'm from my heart, I'm really happy, and I'm glad there's a lot of people I know, a lot of people I don't know. They came out to say, hey, Gary, you're going to make it.
organized by Anthony and Jennifer Winishek, the owners of Tracker's Pub and Grub in South Milwaukee. The tavern, a nickname Anthony picked up as a Marine. His fellow members of the Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association Milwaukee chapter donated the food, and when Jennifer asked, the raffle items came pouring in, including an autographed Packers team football.
This is what we do, and it wouldn't be just for Gary. We would do this for any veteran that comes home today and is looking for a place where they feel like they're home.
Gary's a veteran, and he's one of our brothers. I consider him my brother, being Anthony's wife. We have just had an outpour of support with Gary, and he does things for a good cause himself, so it's just time to give back.
No one would argue if you referred to Gary Wetzel as an American hero, but for many here in South Milwaukee, he's just Gary, somebody who's always given back to the community, so why not give back to him? And that's something you don't have to be a biker or a veteran to understand.
He beats the streets and he does things to raise money for people. So, we want to just, while he's down and out, we want him to know that we have his back so that he can maybe support or do whatever he needs to do to cover some loose end expenses.
And we'll see you next year back on the bike.
It's being fixed as we speak, you betcha. I'll be back on. Can't put an old dog like me down.
Organizers say while the care Gary's receiving at the VA Medical Center has been wonderful, they wanted him to have a little extra cash on hand for anything unexpected that might come up. Maybe even help to get him back on his bike. Either way, it's up to Gary. It's the least he deserves.
The Milwaukee.
We're going to take one final live look at the Trump Tower in New York City, where a man is using suction cups to scale the glass on the side of the building. This is along Fifth Avenue. The namesake tower, Trump Tower here. Terraces are open to the public during the day, so there is speculation that's how he made his way onto the side of the building. You can see there to the left of your screen an emergency responder in a basket, no doubt trying to communicate and get this man off the side of that building.
Going to the pumpkin patch tomorrow.
Whether they like it or not.
We're doing it.
We're getting our pumpkins.
Family stuff, kids.
And we hope you enjoy any pumpkin hunting or whatever you do this weekend. Keep it safe, and we'll see you here on Monday.